teach you guys just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach just a little bit of something, just a small tidbit. And then from there, just open up the floor. You guys, any questions you have with whatever it is that you're facing, like Jeff and I, we did just to have a little back and forth right now about, we already had some good information in there. But anything like that, if you want to go that way toward you specifically, or is like, hey, what does this mean in thinking into results? Then please, by all means, let's just dive into those things. That's what these sessions are for. I really like the concept of being able to record those lessons and give them to you guys, just because of time and then the availability for you guys to do that. And you're seeing my take on it. I'm not like somebody who's a master at thinking into results. I'm just studying it a lot, maybe just a step further or whatever. So maybe you can pick up on what I'm sharing in those recordings so that you can apply it better too. I've been thinking about a lot of, it's infinite the way that we can succeed. And this process is in the changing process right now. It's morphing. And I know it's going to find a really good space here. But the big thing is as I continue to create my information product, it keeps getting more ridiculously simple. And, you know, so first step is I am Mind, Move, Manifest, M3. That's it. It's just, that's the brand. And the mind is that we grow. Like the big secret is that we grow our dream up into a point that we're willing to do anything for it. And we have to do that. Most people miss it right from the start, is they're afraid to do that because they're afraid to fail, failure, success, all that programming that gets in the way. We have to just sweep all that stuff to the side. We have to grow our dream to a point that we're willing to do anything to achieve it. And that's what's going to keep us going. That's the right amount of fuel with the right kind of fuel to keep going. So dream big, make it big, and then you shrink it down into a destination, which is like, what's one thing that could happen? What's one thing that would be happening if you were successful? And then you just feel that with that wonderful feeling, and you just feel that over and over and over again. You take that fuel. Well, people say, okay, after that, the next move or the next thing is move. It's your action. And so our steps for action is just the opposite. We went grow and then shrink in mind. And now we're going to go shrink and grow. And we're going to shrink it all the way down to just an action that you're taking. Like, it's not about taking 10 different actions and throwing them at yourself and becoming a master at 10 different things at once, because that becomes confusion, and that pain is too much. We have two things that are motivating as humans. Everybody has this. We have pain and we have pleasure, and both of them motivate. And if the pain is too high, we just say, oh, the hell with it. So we really want to shrink it down to the things that we're taking, the action. Watch martial arts be taught. Watch music be taught. Watch dance be taught. It's all about just this one thing that we're working on today, right? So why would we do that to ourselves to take everything at once? So what we do is we shrink it down to an action. Like, this is the most important thing that's calling to me. That's the key why this whole thing is synergistic. When you're building your dream inside of you, you're going to have that action step up and say, Jeff, this is what you got to do. Savannah, this is what you got to do. You're going to know it. You're going to feel it. So that action becomes the thing that you're going to focus on. That's the thing I'm going to get better at this week. I'm going to master that thing this week. And if I don't master this week, maybe it spans out to 2 weeks. But by focusing on that and building that down inside of you, that's what it's like. I'm done with it. I don't have to deal with it anymore. It became a habit. That's what our habits are. And then you can move on to the next thing and the next thing. And that's how you build that amazing you, is by shrinking it down into just this action that I'm focused on. Like you said, with exercise, right? And then in order to make that happen, this is the big thing that we're teaching here today, is that you've got to grow it back out. If I became the person who did this consistently every day and got really good at this, would I get what I wanted? I'm going all the way back. Do you see the cycle of it all the way back to my main goal? And then you're really being able to say, yeah, and you get it. Like, yeah, that's why you want to do it. But I want to dive into that just a little bit deeper. And those two motivators that I talked about, pain and pleasure. And I really am getting into a space. I'm a guy who's like glass half full guy. And that is not like, I'm not using everything that we have there, because the pain is a big motivator. Like, I run from the pain too. Like that's something that I just felt like I developed maybe as a kid. Like, I just want to get away from that. But really, we can harness that pain and we can use it in our favor too, to get us to make the decision, like lock it in. You said something very good, Jeff, is non-negotiable, right? So we go down the process of saying, okay, on the pleasure side, if I do this action and I get it and I'm growing it, right? What do I get? Like I get to become that person who gets his goal and all that stuff. Now, here's the pain side. If I don't do this, what's my life look like in 3 months? What's my life look like in 6 months? And these are all questions that really you want to just ask and spend a little time with. I'm not saying from Neville's point of view to live in that state. I'm saying get this to lock it in. You just use it to lock it in. Who else is counting on me to do this? I had a few of them writing down. Who else is being affected? How long have you wanted to do this? How much longer do you want to wait? What if you don't do it in 6 months? What's your life going to look like? What if you don't do it in a year? What if you don't do it in 5 years? What if you don't do it for the rest of your life? And I see you, Jeff. I see it. It gets you, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're really striking a chord with that right there.
Like that sucks. And don't live in that state, but use it in that moment to realize how serious this is. And then make your decision and lock it in. It's a non-negotiable, as you said. I really, really like that.
Yeah.
And then do it. So that's my teaching lesson for today. Pull from the pain to make that stuff work for you. Make your decision and then don't look back. Live in the state of having it already.
That was outstanding.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, dude.
You know,
No, thank you. That was really good.
Cool, man. I think you're like me, Jeff. We're glass half full guys. We like that stuff. And so we don't realize that we're pulling only from us. Maybe it's 50%. I think most people are motivated more by pain. We don't realize it.
I think that, I mean, the way that I know that the glass is half empty too. I know that, but I choose to look at it in a different way. So it makes me feel better about it. And it keeps me motivated versus, falling down a rabbit hole of, worry and fear and all of that entails.
Mm-hmm. I think I was very challenged with where to put it too, like how to say it. And I'm still learning about that because I tell people all day long, like, don't live in the pain because you're just going to get more and more and more of it. But it doesn't mean that it's not useful. There's good in everything. Like I got to face this thing and say, well, you know what? Am I fooling myself? Today I think maybe I'll just go, pick my nose and stare at the wall. No, you can't. Because today leads to tomorrow, which leads to next week, which leads to next month. And what happens if you're 6 months down the road and you don't get it? What does that look like? What does it look like in a year? What does it look like in those things? Who else is counting on you to do this? Who needs you to be successful in your life? Oh, crap. And what if you don't succeed? What's that going to look like for them? Oh man, like I'm not going to do that. Like, okay, guys, I'll see you later. I'm going to go out and I'm going to pump iron. I feel like shit today. And I don't really care. If I do a half-assed job pumping iron, I don't care because my job is to do this every day or whatever your thing is. I'm saying pumping iron. It's just this is where I come from. It's my base. But whatever the thing is, pick up the phone, make your phone call that person. Oh, they're not going to really want to hear what I was saying. Film my video. Savannah had been doing it,
Yes.
I don't care what the action is, but what locks it in? Pick up the phone. Make the phone call, make the video, do your action, sit in front of your computer. Computer work's not easy for me to do. And yet I'm structuring out this whole stinking webinar. And I find that I'm using a lot of these tactics to do it.
Right on. I want to hear more about YouTube from Savannah.
Yeah.
I want to know how that's been going.
You there, Savannah? School's about to start, I think, huh?
Oh, okay. I see.
Okay. Well, anything specifically, that's what these calls really are for. Is the information and thinking into results, is it falling into place? Is there anything you want clarity on or more information?
I don't think so, man. I see she just bounced off. I think that the way you just delivered that is really good too. And maybe think about, because I mean, how long did that take you? Less than 5 minutes to give that?
Yeah.
And it was just really like a massive left hook, really. And so maybe think about how you can deliver more messaging like that.
Okay.
Maybe not on the weekly, you don't have to do it for this, but I'm just saying, like, even when you're sharing yourself on social media, or like when you're giving the webinar, or whatever. It's just, I don't know, something about today's lesson was just hit me harder.
Yeah.
I feel like you hit me with a left hook. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was good, man. It was really good.
Good. It's all coming in through the process of what we're doing and building this webinar out. It really is just showing me more and more and more. I did that live with Finn, you saw that. And the thing was, is like, if you're not leaning in on a regular basis, that's so true. Like, it's like, I am guilty of it. That's why I share it, is that, I kind of got this mindset stuff down. I get it. Like, don't accept that thought. Like, the thought is that you're always open for something new to come in, that because it's a flow. You know what? I think I had a dream last night about that. I was talking to somebody about that. Matter of fact, I think I was arguing. Now I remember that ashwagandha really does a number on me when I sleep. I like it. But it was like, you're never going to be able to save your way to financial independence. You're never going to be able to save your way to wealth.
Yeah.
It's a flow. It's always a flow, and everything is a flow, like it's with your exercise, with your relationships. It's a flow. And it's like, how do you increase that flow of those moments going by again and again and again? That's what really matters. You got to stay open. The number one coaching sin, is for missing the mark. You're not going to be able to be coachable or helpful, is burying your head in the sand. That's it. It's a closed mind.
Yeah.
You can't help somebody from that. And that really comes from that thing is, I already know this stuff. I heard that stuff. I did it, it's just hands up, no. And then, like pop their head and they're like, I got a big problem. I really need some help with this thing, and it's like, and then they put their hands back up. It's like, no, I already know that. It's crazy,
That's
it's
when you ask them
insanity.
if they made sure to go out and vote that day.
Go vote.
Hey, listen, dude, just go vote, man. I can't help you.
Yeah.
You know, it was interesting when you were reading that. I had this marked on my book right here. What motivates people to what really sells people?
Mhm.
And then there's a quote from Napoleon Bonaparte, and it says there's two motives to action: self-interest and fear.
Mm-hmm.
It was bookmarked right there, and you were talking just about that. I was just like, what the fuck is going on, man?
It's so cool, Jeff, when we live his life this way, when you listen to what Neville says, and it keeps showing up, like things keep showing up. I'm talking all the way about just walking around a corner and a song be playing. And it's like, I thought about that earlier. This person showed up. I was actually thinking about you showing up at the house. I don't know why. I just kind of got off into a little imaginary thing. And I'll be dang if you didn't hit me with a text that said, hey, can we have a
Oh,
face-to-face,
really?
have a live? Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I didn't spend
Funny.
any time with it. I didn't care if it happened or not. It wasn't wanting or not wanting. I was just indifferent to it, but I got involved in it. And the next thing the text was, and it's like, I was texting like, sure. Like, yeah, like before I even knew what I was doing. It's happening all over the place in our life. And it's just really whether are we aware of what we're actually creating?
I think it's important, like whenever those things happen, to sit back and really reflect on like how you were able to manifest that, and to just really solidify your faith, and that is how that manifested. It's because of the thought that was going into it, and just to hold that faith in it and then apply it to everything that you want. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. That's just from what I feel,
And the only reason that seems weird to us is because it's not taught from the beginning. And like now we're like, well, like it's been drilled into your head that you need to know all the steps, you need to know the how. But anybody that's ever done anything that we looked at and said, that's amazing, they all started their journey the same way. They didn't know how it's going to work. It's like the proof is right there, but the belief has been built into us enough that we don't do it. You do have that power. I really believe in this. And as I stop this recording, that's what I'm going to leave off with today. Is I leave this with all of our thinking into results family, is I really believe in that small scene now. Neville hits on that so much. So you when you become aware, you're noticing that it's happening all the time. And you just said something that it's the truth. Is that once you make that connection and you start figuring out, that's more important than getting the thing. And you start seeing how those things happen in our life. So really, when you get it down into that small scene and you say, well, I can feel that. I can feel, Jeff, like you and I, like we just gotten really close over this last couple years, just hanging out with each other. Like I could feel your excitement, for being in 2 Comma Club. That's more than like I kept leaning, like, I don't know Russell. You know, I guess I could see him saying, you know, what I felt like he was saying, and is my vision morphed. It's like, no, like that's Jeff and me. Like I know Jeff. I know what that feels like. And then I can bring the crowd into that thing and we can feel that moment like, whoa, all this time we've been talking about this stuff and we're here, we're doing it, is more powerful. And the thing that I can leave everybody with is create that small scene and spend time with it every day, because it does matter. It will direct the course of your actions and it will direct the course of your success. Don't downplay it. Don't, think you got to take the trash or get the mail or something that's more important today than that. Spend time, even if it's 5-10 minutes with that thing, because it's going to direct you. Cool.
Awesome.
All I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the stop record right here. Where was that?